This video looks at the history of education in the Lakenham area of Norwich. This is St Mark's Church as seen from Hall Road. As this 1908 map shows, at that time both frontages to Hall Road were taken up by schools. The one to the south, or on the right, became a church hall early in its history, possibly around the early 1900s, but this would, I suspect, have been its playground. The school to the left of the churchyard was bombed in June 1942, with the result that children were educated in the neighbouring church hall for the remainder of that term. Further along Hall Road, St Mark's Boys' School was built in 1897 at a cost of £3,000. It provided education until the early 1950s before becoming council offices and now housing. Before we leave schools called St Mark's, this is a little obscure, but basically there was a school in St Mark's Terrace, in other words one of the houses here. On a Tuesday the 5th of June it relocated to Llandaff House in Grove Road. Llandaff House was a girls' home between 1922 and 1941 and is the taller building in the background. The present view of this location looks like this. Lakenham Middle School on City Road was built in 1914 and had a playing field on Norfolk County Cricket Ground. This is what the school looked like from City Road, and it was replaced in 2007 with a new primary school, now with its own playing field on part of the former cricket ground. Although the previous school had been built in 1914, it wasn't opened as a school until 1919, having been used as a military hospital in the First World War. The first head teacher, John Ollerenshaw, came from the Carrow Hill School, which had outgrown its site and closed when Lakenham opened. Thomas Anguish was a 17th century Norwich mayor who paid for two residential schools. This building, dating from 1863, was referred to as both Anguish's Hospital and the Girls' School of Housecraft. From 1941 to 1952 it was a children's home, and it then became Lakenham Infant School, then Lakenham First School, before closing in 2007 when the new primary school was built. It's now a Steiner School. Situated next to Lakenham Way is the Edith Cavall Academy. Named after the famous nurse from Norfolk who saved lives from both sides in the First World War before being executed, this is the school site in 1947, soon after being built, and this aerial view shows the extended school buildings shortly before demolition and replacement. This is an internal photo before the school was replaced by a brand new school on the same site. As this map from 1947 shows, the Hewitt School would be built on the site of Tuxwood Farm, with the sports arena that would become affectionately known as Little Wembley actually on the site of the farm buildings. You can see the Little Wembley running track on this photo, and the track also featured in a Spike Milligan sketch from the 1970s. The site of Little Wembley is now taken up by the Goals football facility, and the Wherry School is another new addition to the campus, having opened in 2017. The site originated in the early 1950s as Boys and Girls Secondary Modern Schools, and they were joined in 1958 by the Hewitt Grammar School. In 1970, all three schools were combined as a comprehensive under Dr. Walter Roy. This is a prototype model of the school site. In 1977 the Queen visited Norwich, and that included a visit to the Hewitt School for a dance display involving 3,000 children from 83 schools. This picture of the Queen with a pupil had pride of place in Cavall School Library for many years. With far fewer pupils in attendance than at its peak, parts of the site are currently mothballed, but the school remains a significant feature in the area, especially when viewed from Lakenham Road. In this video I haven't made any reference to Harford Manor School or to the former Brackendale School, as they may feature in videos about Ipswich Road and Brackendale respectively.